We're now going to look at the logarithm laws. What we've got to remember here is that a logarithm is nothing more than an index. So when we talk about the logarithm laws, we should keep in mind exactly what the index laws are, because they will be very close. First law is that when you're multiplying two numbers together, the log to base a of nm, so we're multiplying a number times another number, we are going to add the logs of the individual numbers. So we're saying a log is nothing more than an index. If you go back to the index rules, it's a to the n times a to the m. So we're multiplying two numbers. Here in logarithm law 1, we're multiplying n times m. Now what did you do to the indexes there? We added them. That's what we're doing here. Where the log of n is the index, the log of m is the index. You must raise a2 to get the number m. So we actually add those two indices. So keep in mind as we go down these index laws that we're talking very closely to the same laws that the indexes hold. So number 2 is when we are dividing two numbers. What do we do to the indexes of those? Well, when you divide, we subtract. And maybe out here we might do some examples. So for instance, the log to base, we'll just make some bases up here of 7 times 9. So for instance, the log of 63, 7, 9, 63 to base 5 is the log of 7 to base 5 plus the log of 9 to base 5. When we are dividing, the log to base, let's make up another base 3 of 15 over 20 will be equal to the log of 15 to base 3. Now we add, when we're multiplying the numbers, we add the logs. When we are dividing the numbers, we'll actually subtract the logs. Third law is that when you've got log to base a of n to the power of p. Now don't forget, this is an index raised to another index, and you multiply. So we multiply p and we put it out the front. Log n to base a. So for instance, the log of to base 7 of 15 to the power of 3 is equal to that 3 comes out the front, 3 times the log of 15 to base 7. Number 4, the log. So what is the power? Don't forget, a log is a power. What is the power? You must raise this base a2 to get the number a. Obviously it's 1. So the log of 10 to base 10. What's the power? You must raise 10 to get the number 10. 1. The log of 1/4. What's the power? You must raise a quarter to get the number of quarter, 1, and so on. Number 5, the log of 1 to base a. What is the power? You must raise, we'll just get rid of that equal so they all line up here. what is the power you must raise any number to get the number 1? Well, you know that anything raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So the log to base 20 of 1 equals 0, and that is because 20 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So go back to the definition of logs. If that's 20 to the 0 is 1, then the log of the number 1 to base 20 must be equal to 0. So there's 5 laws of logarithms. You need to memorize these to be familiar with how they work. And the big thing to keep in mind here is that when we think of logarithms, the first thing you think of are indexes. All a logarithm is an index, so the laws of logarithms are very closely allied to the laws of indices.